Hey, 6th grade. We are getting ready to complete our final lesson in Module 2. So we're going to start with the usual reminders, just so that, just to make sure you're doing these things and getting in the habit of this every time you listen to a video. Make sure you click pause so you can check to see if you have a pencil and your math binder, and hopefully it has blank paper in it. Also, if you need to pause or rewind during the video, then go for it. You need to make sure that you are taking thorough notes and that you are able to understand the material. When it comes to taking thorough notes, you do need to make sure you're writing neatly and that you can read them. Otherwise, they are not going to do you very much good when it is time for you to study. So, Lesson 2.4 is titled Order Rational Numbers. Lesson 2.4 is titled Order Rational Numbers. So there we go. I hope you have it written nicely and neatly at the top of your page. Our learning objective for this lesson is I will order positive and negative rational numbers of different forms. So there you go. There's our learning objective. I will order positive and negative rational numbers of different forms. Make sure you pause and you get all of that in your notes. And kiddos, that's it for when it comes to taking notes on just plain paper. So now you need to be ready to start using your textbook pages. Okay, so we're going to start on page 51, and we're going to start up at the top where it says Step It Out. And it says there for Step It Out, the average weight of an adult African pygmy mouse is 27 hundredths of an ounce. Weights of the mice vary depending on age, diet, and whether the mouse is a male or female. The differences from average weight in ounces for a set of African pygmy mice at a zoo are shown. How could we use a number line to order these numbers? Guys, that doesn't mean we're worrying about putting them in order just yet. We're just wanting to know how do you think you're actually going to do that? So I want you to pause the video, think for a minute, and write your answer down. How do you think you would use a number line to order the numbers? On the lines that they have there for question A, I just wrote that I can graph the differences on a number line. The numbers on a number line increase from left to right, so the differences will be in order from the least to the greatest. So now for question B, they're wanting us to graph the numbers up above on the number line. So let's see here. I'll do the first one with you, 9 hundredths. I'll graph that one, and then I want you to pause and graph all the rest on your own. So 9 hundredths, tenths, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, so I'm going to put my 9 hundredths right here, just to the left of that first tenth mark. Alright, now I want you to go on ahead and graph negative 14 hundredths, 12 hundredths, 6 hundredths, and negative 1/10. So pause the video and get after it. Oh my goodness, I totally messed up. Let's try that 900th again. These are split up by ones, and so you've got 100th, 200ths, 300ths, 400ths, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to 1/10. So I should have put my 9/10ths mark, or 900ths mark right there. I am so sorry, you guys. Alright, so my 900ths will go there. I'll go ahead and do the next one since I messed us all up. If we have negative 14 hundredths, I know I need to go to the left because my numbers will get smaller from right to left. So there's 1/10, and I know I still need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the left for negative 14 hundredths. Okay, I'm feeling bad now because I really messed up that first one. Let's do 12 hundredths together. So there's 1/10, and then we add on our 2 hundredths. 1, 2. Okay, now go on ahead and do those last two on your own. pause the video so you can do that. And then for question C, it is telling us to complete the statements using the graph in part B. So, part B has all of our numbers on the number line. Alright, C says complete the statements using the graph in part B. So we need to use our number line to take care of this statement down here. A number to the left of a second number on a number line is less or greater than the second number. So let's see here. We'll just start here with negative 1400ths. So here's a number that's on the left side, and then if it's to the left of this second number, well, we're getting a little bit closer to 0. So the number to the left is going to be less than the second number because that number that's like farthest to the left has the least value. It is farther from 0 than the rest of the numbers. So now it says we need to write an inequality to compare 900ths and negative 1/10. So let's take a look at our number line up above. Here is our negative 1/10. Here's our positive 900ths. So which one has the greater value? I'm going to go with the 900ths. Alright. And then for question E, it says write an inequality to compare negative 1400ths and negative 1/10. So here's negative 1400ths. Here's negative 1/10. I'm going to do this. There's my negative 1400ths. I'm going to put a circle there so I can put my inequality symbol in there. And then negative 1/10. In this case, since the negative 1/10 is closer to 0, and the negative 1400ths is farther to the left, it means that the negative 0.1 or 1/10 actually has a little bit more value. And then for F, it says write the numbers in order from least to greatest. And kiddos, doing this on a number line is a super handy way to put your numbers in order from least to greatest. Then you can just look up and see them, and you don't have to worry about trying to figure this out again. So I'm going to start with negative 1400ths, comma, my next dot shows negative 1/10. Whoops, forgot my negative. 0.1. Next on the number line, I have 600ths. Whoops, let's make sure I do that as a 6. The next number is going to be 900ths. And the largest value is going to be 1200ths. And we got them all put in order from least to greatest. So from the left to the right on our number line. Alright, let's turn our page over here. We're going to take a look. One way to compare rational numbers is to write them in the same form. Guys, it is a whole lot easier to put your numbers in order if they're all decimals or if they're all fractions or, that kind of thing. So, rewrite each fraction as a decimal. Each decimal as a fraction. Clearly, I should not be recording videos today because I am making a mess of this one all over the place. Okay, so we need to look at our list of numbers and write each decimal as a fraction. So that means we need to convert 2 of these numbers. We have negative 6200ths. So we're going to put 62 in the box over 100 because that shows negative 6200ths. And we know that 2 goes into both 62 and 100. So we're going to simplify it just a little bit. That's why this next one has 50 as its denominator. So 100 divided by 2 is 50. 62 divided by 2 is 31. So we're going to have negative 31 over 50. And then we have to do the same thing here. negative 1 and 1800ths equals negative 1 and 18 over 100. And we're going to simplify and divide both our numerator and our denominator by 2. So 100 divided by 2 is how we wind up with 50 over here. 18 divided by 2 gives us 9. So we have negative 1 and 9/50ths. So I'm going to circle those just so I can keep track of them. What is the least common multiple, or LCM, of all the denominators of all the fractions? Ooh, you're going to have to pause your video to figure that one out. What is the least common multiple, or LCM, of the denominators of all the fractions? All right, how did you do, guys? Did you get 50 for your answer as the least common multiple? All right, question C is going to take a bit of work, and you will need to pause your video again to fill out the boxes on here. Because for C, it says, what are the numbers written with the LCM as the common denominator? So they have 50 now for the common denominator on all 4 of those numbers from up above. And now we need to fill in the blanks on the tops of those. We already have 2 of them because we have our we already have the answer for negative 6200ths, and that's negative 31 over 50. And then we have the answer for the negative 1 and 1800ths, and it's negative 1 and 9 over 50. Now you need to figure out what goes in the other 2 blanks. Pause the video so you can do that. Alright, so for negative 1 and 2/5, you should have negative 20 over 50. For negative 6200ths, you have negative 31/50ths. For negative 1 and 1800ths, you should have negative 1 and 9/50ths. And for negative 3/5, you should have negative 30/50ths. For question D, this one has 2 parts, guys. It says write the numbers in order in their new forms. So there's the first way. And then in their original forms from least to greatest. So I want you to pause because you have 2 things you have to do. You need to write the numbers in their new forms, these little guys here, in order from least to greatest. And then I'll check back in with you. Alright. Hopefully you got negative 1 and 20 over 50, negative 1 and 9/50ths, negative 31/50ths, and then negative 30/50ths. That's putting the numbers in order in their new forms from the least to the greatest. Now you need to pause the video again so you can write the numbers in their original forms, still from least to greatest. Okay, I wrote mine as negative 1 and 2/5, then negative 1 and 1800ths, negative 6200ths, and finally negative 3 over 5. Alright, we're going to stop here in our textbook, and now you need to head to HMH and you need to complete the check understanding for this lesson. When you complete your check understanding, all you have to do this time is submit it on HMH. You don't have to worry about submitting it on Canvas. So, one less step and a little less work for you guys. So, anyway, have fun, and I'll see you all around.